There is something you have been waiting for, a moment, a sign, a feeling that finally says, now this is the right time, begin. You have been waiting for it, for months, maybe years. And I need to tell you something. That might be the most important thing. You hear this year, that moment, is never coming, not because you are not ready, but because the right moment does not arrive, it is created. This is the story of Helen and the years she lost, waiting for a moment that was always already here. Helen was 34 years old. She had a dream, not a vague dream, not a someday maybe kind of dream. A specific, detailed, burning dream that had lived inside her chest. Since she was 22, she wanted to open a small bakery, not a chain, not an empire, just a small, warm, beautiful place where people came in from the cold and left feeling better than when they arrived. She could see it completely. The wooden tables, the smell of fresh bread, the handwritten menu on the wall, the sound of the door opening, and someone saying, "It smells amazing in here." She had the recipes, she had the skills, she had the passion. She had everything, except the start, because Helen was waiting for the right moment. At 22, she was too young. I need more experience first. At 25, she had just started a new job. I can't leave now. The timing is wrong. At 28, she was saving money. Not enough yet, a little longer. At 31, the economy was uncertain. It's too risky right now. At 34, she was still waiting. The reasons had changed. The waiting had not. Her husband, Tom, watched this for years. With a mixture of love and quiet frustration, one evening he said, "Helen, when are you going to start the bakery?" "When the time is right," she said. Tom was quiet for a moment. Then, gently, carefully, he said, "Helen, we have been married for 6 years. You have said that for 6 years. I need to ask you something honestly. What would the right time actually look like? What would need to be true for you to say, now this is it, I'm starting?" Helen opened her mouth and stopped because she didn't have an answer, not a real one. She had conditions. Always conditions. But the conditions kept changing. The goalposts kept moving, and for the first time, she wondered if the right moment was not something she was waiting for, but something she was hiding behind. The crisis came on an ordinary Thursday. Helen's mother called. Her voice was different, quieter, slower, the voice of someone carrying news. "They don't want to deliver. Helen, your Aunt Rose passed away." This morning, Helen sat down. Aunt Rose, the woman who had taught Helen to bake at 8 years old, who had stood beside her in a warm kitchen and said, "Baking is love made visible, sweetheart. Never stop making things with your hands." At the funeral, Helen found herself sitting next to Rose's oldest friend, a woman named Edith, who had known Rose for 60 years. "She was remarkable," Edith said. "Did you know she always wanted to open a little tea shop? She talked about it for decades." Helen looked up. She never did it. Edith shook her head slowly. She was always waiting for the children to grow up, waiting for the right location, waiting for the right time. She paused. She waited her whole life, and then one day, there was no more time left to wait. Helen drove home in silence. She sat in her car in the driveway for 20 minutes, not crying, not thinking, just sitting, with the weight of what she had just heard pressing down on her chest, like something physical. Aunt Rose, who had taught her that baking was love made visible, who had spent 60 years waiting for the right moment and run out of moments before the right one ever came. Helen thought about her own life. 12 years of waiting. She calculated it, almost without meaning to. If she had started at 22, she would have had 12 years of experience by now, 12 years of learning, 12 years of building something real. Instead, she had 12 years of waiting, 12 years of not yet, 12 years of soon, 12 years of a dream that had never been given the chance to breathe. And then she understood something that cracked her open completely. The right moment had not been absent. It had been present every single year, disguised as an imperfect moment. At 22, imperfect, but present. At 25, imperfect, but present. At 28, imperfect, but present every year. The moment had been there, waiting not for conditions to be perfect, but for her to be willing. And she had looked at each imperfect moment and said, "Not this one, the next one will be better." But the next one was always imperfect too. Because all moments are imperfect, that is what moments are. She thought about weather. A farmer cannot wait for perfect weather. Perfect weather does not exist. There is always too much rain, or too little, always too hot or too cold, always some condition. That is not quite right. The farmer who waits for perfect weather never plants, and the farmer who never plants never harvests. Helen had been waiting for perfect weather for 12 years, while the seasons changed around her, while the soil waited, while the seeds sat in her hands. Ready, willing, patient, and slowly lost their vitality. She got out of the car. She walked inside. Tom was in the kitchen. He looked up when she came in, saw something different in her face, and waited. "I'm going to start," Helen said. Not "I'm thinking about starting." Not "I've decided to start soon." "I'm going to start this week, not when everything is ready, not when the timing is perfect. Now." Tom put down what he was holding and smiled, the smile of a man who had been waiting 6 years to hear those words. "What do you need?" he said. "Just you," she said, "and a place to begin." Helen did not open a bakery overnight. That is not how real stories work. She started small, a market stall on Saturday mornings, 6 items on the menu, a folding table and a handwritten sign. The first Saturday, she sold out by noon. Not because everything was perfect. The sign was slightly crooked. She ran out of bags. She forgot to bring change, but the bread was real. The pastries were real. The warmth was real, and people felt it. The second Saturday, she came more prepared. The third, she had a small queue. By the second month, people were asking, "Do you have a shop? Where can we find you during the week?" 18 months after that Thursday in the driveway, Helen signed a lease on a small space. Wooden tables, fresh bread smell, handwritten menu on the wall, exactly as she had imagined it, not perfect. The ceiling was lower than she wanted. The location was not her first choice. The first month was financially terrifying, but it was real and real. Imperfect, uncertain, alive, was infinitely better than the perfect version that had lived only in her mind for 12 years. On opening day, she placed one photograph on the counter. Aunt Rose, standing in her kitchen, flour on her hands, laughing at something, completely alive, completely herself. Helen looked at the photograph before the first customer came in, and she whispered, "This one is for you." I stopped waiting. "So I want to ask you something. What are you waiting for? Not in general, specifically. What is the thing? The real thing that you have been telling yourself you will start when the time is right. And how long have you been telling yourself that? Because here is what I need you to understand. The right moment is not a gift that life gives you. It is a decision that you give yourself. You do not find it. You do not wait for it. You do not recognize it. When it finally arrives, you make it right now with what you have in the imperfect conditions that surround you today. The conditions will never be perfect. You will never have enough money until you start making it. You will never have enough experience until you start gaining it. You will never feel ready until you start doing. Readiness is not a feeling that precedes action. It is a feeling that follows it. The right moment is not waiting for you somewhere in the future. It is standing right here, right now, dressed in ordinary clothes, looking imperfect, asking only one thing: are you willing? That is the only question. Not "are you ready?" Not "is the timing perfect?" Not "do you have everything you need?" Are you willing? Willing to begin imperfectly, willing to learn by doing, willing to build the thing in the real world with all its mess and uncertainty, instead of keeping it safe and perfect inside your mind. Because the version of your dream that lives only in your head cannot feed anyone, cannot help anyone, cannot change anything. Only the version that steps outside, uncertain, imperfect, real, can do that. So today, in honor of every Aunt Rose who waited too long, take one step, not the whole journey, not the perfect plan. One step, make the call, write the first line, book the meeting, open the account. Tell someone what you are going to do. One step, today, because today, right now, this imperfect, ordinary, unremarkable moment is the right moment. It always was. If this story moved something in you, share it with someone who has been waiting too long for a moment that is already here, because somewhere out there is a Helen with flour on her hands and a dream in her chest, who just needs someone to say, "The time is now, it has always been now." This video is for her. This video is for you. Thank you for watching.